In Venezuela, everything is ready to carry out the first national popular consultation of 2025, a democratic process that strengthens communal power. The shockwave of President Donald Trump's tariff war has also had a response. In China, Beijing will denounce Washington to the World Trade Organization. And the Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs recorded 700 dead and 2,800 wounded in the fighting in the Democratic Republic of the Congo from January 26th to the 30th. Hello, welcome from the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from teleSUR Studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. In Venezuela, the first national popular consultation of 2025 is underway. The process is one of the most important since it is the people choosing the projects that their communities need. The Minister of Communes, Angel Prado, informed that there are more than 36,000 projects nominated for this Sunday's voting, where more than 5,000 will be elected. The remaining projects will also have the opportunity to be developed. All the proposals to be voted this Sunday were discussed by the communities themselves in open assemblies. The more than 1,100 parishes in the Bolivarian nation will go to the 5,245 electoral centers to cast their votes on these community-driven initiatives. In El Salvador, at least 2 people were killed and 1 injured in a new traffic accident in the country's capital. Authorities detailed that the accident occurred in the early hours of the morning when a motorbike and a private vehicle collided at kilometer 14 of the Pan American Highway in San Martin, San Salvador East. It should be noted that the National Civil Police reported that so far in 2025, there have been 1,482 accidents, of which 82 people have died and 937 have been injured. In response to the increase in these accidents, the controls established in traffic regulations approved in December 2024 have been increased, including the application of photo fines and other enforcement measures. And in Brazil, Hugo Mota was elected president of the House of Representatives, while Davi Alcolumbre was elected president of the Senate. Deputy Hugo Mota, supported by the Workers' Party, the Liberal Party, and 16 other parties, was elected president of the Chamber of Deputies with a vote of 444 parliamentarians, the second highest vote in history. Similarly, Davi Alcolumbre will assume the Senate for the second time, obtaining 73 of the 81 votes, also backed by an arc of alliances ranging from the Workers' Party to the Liberal Party. The main guidelines of the political left in Congress include regulating social networks, enriching tariffs, and reducing the working day. Meanwhile, in Uruguay, hundreds of LGBTQ+ activists gathered in front of the Argentine embassy in Montevideo to protest against President Javier Milei's controversial statements at the World Economic Forum in Davos.
To show that the movements of the miscalled minorities are not alone, that they have all the human strength, all the loving power, all the desire to move forward, to fight fascism, to give love, and to prove that with love, we can achieve much more than with hate.
Above all, it is a regional issue that doesn't only affect Argentina, but the entire region, and is happening in various parts of the world, where certain discourses are repeating, aiming to limit rights when, in reality, it is completely unjust.
Nicaragua experienced a series of the Americas in a great baseball party, and the country showed its capacity to host great international events in modern stadiums.
For the first time, Nicaragua hosted the Series of the Americas International Tournament, an event that brought together teams from Argentina, Cuba, Curacao, Panama, Colombia, and the host country, Nicaragua. The country proved to be more than prepared to host large-scale competitions thanks to its modern stadiums.
What a tremendous tournament. I have loved more than anything the reception and the treatment that the country of Nicaragua has given me. Truly, what a tremendous tournament. Very good level of the teams that are here.
It is unbelievable what we are experiencing. The organization of the tournament is tremendous.
Nicaragua should feel proud of these 3 stadiums that you have here, and you can play any event. I believe that you are close to reach the level of possibly even a World Cup.
I had not been here, but I had references that it was a stadium with a good infrastructure. It is a good quality stadium that is suitable for international matches, and I believe that, yes, the expectations were met.
For 7 days, the teams competed in an atmosphere of excitement and high level of sportsmanship. The Metropolitan Eagles of Panama were crowned champions for the first edition of the Series of the Americas. The national team of Nicaragua was crowned runner-up.
I think we already had an idea of how to pitch to the hitters. The Nicaraguan hitters are very good, and I think we made the necessary adjustments to pull out the victory.
Baseball is considered the king sport in Nicaragua due to its popularity and the massive turnout of fans in the country's new and modern stadiums.
I think that something very nice about this country is that the countries that come here will speak well of Nicaragua for having stadiums like this one.
The government is building stadiums in which we as former players would have liked to play. Unfortunately, we couldn't play in these stadiums. But the new generation is acquiring these new stadiums.
They already look at us with respect, and that is the objective, because baseball in Nicaragua reaches the top, to occupy the first places in Latin America.
In addition to the sporting impact, events such as this one boost the local economy, benefiting small and large businesses. Entrepreneurs and merchants take advantage of these opportunities to offer traditional Nicaraguan cuisine and other products, strengthening the country's economic development.
I offered my client different types of food that we make here. First of all, we thank God and the people who support us as the good government that has come to make this stadium nice and beautiful, and also this favor that we bring a livelihood to our family.
In recent years, the Sandinista government has invested more than $142 million in the construction of sports infrastructure, consolidating Nicaragua as a benchmark in the organization of international events.
Kenia Doña, teleSUR, Nicaragua.
We now have a first short break coming up, but remember you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you'll find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. The shockwave of President Donald Trump's tariff war has also had a response in China. Beijing will denounce Washington to the World Trade Organization. China's Commerce Ministry will contest the 10% tariffs imposed by the United States, but will also launch several countermeasures. The executive reiterates that the unilateral imposition of tariffs is a serious violation of the rules of the World Trade Organization, a body of the United Nations. Additionally, Beijing will file an unlawful practice lawsuit against Washington, although the Asian nation insists that a trade war has no winners. It announces that it is forced to impose measures to protect the country's interests. And U.S. President Donald Trump ordered airstrikes on Somalia under the pretext of operations against terrorist groups. These are the first attacks carried out by the United States during Donald Trump's second term in office against the African nation. According to local media, about 6 airstrikes hit several places in the mountains of Al-Mixcad, particularly in the areas of Kurak, Buko, Wangable, and Dasan. The U.S. president also accused former President Joe Biden of not acting quickly during his term of office and sent a message emphasizing that all those who want to attack the United States will be found. In Palestine, the Israeli offensive in the West Bank leaves several dead in multiple drone strikes in the region. An Israeli drone strike on a car in Kabatia, northern West Bank, killed 2 Palestinians. The health ministry reported 5 deaths in separate strikes across Yemen on Saturday, including a 16-year-old boy who was killed in an airstrike targeting an eastern neighborhood. Minutes after, a third extra strike killed 2 more Palestinians on a motorcycle in central Yemen. The Israeli military claimed these operations targeted terrorists as part of its Iron Wall campaign to dismantle militant groups. We have a second short break coming up, but before we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at teleSUR English, there you'll be able to rewatch our interviews, top stories, special broadcastings, and more. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Found your break? Don't go away. Welcome back. This Sunday, Venezuelans vote in the first national public consultation of 2025, where Venezuelans choose the projects on which the public budget will be used, giving more voice to the people's power. Let's go live with our correspondent, Belén de los Santos in Caracas, for all the details. Hello, Belén. Welcome to From the South.
Hello, Luis. Exactly. So, as you were saying, an important day for democracy in Venezuela in this project of a participative and protagonist democracy that the Bolivarian Revolution is carrying along. So, as you were saying, this is the first public consultation that is being underway here in the whole Venezuelan territory. And this is a particular kind of election because Venezuelans, as you were saying, are heading to the polls, specifically in over 5,000 communes and communal circuits. But today, they are not choosing representatives, they're not choosing authorities. They are actually choosing which projects, which communal projects are going to be financed, prioritized in the coming months, which will be receiving the necessary funds to be carrying along. So this is a project, these public consultations have been a tool of participative democracy in the sense that the people are able not only to decide on their fate through the election of representatives, but also to directly decide on their needs. So the process has been underway with assemblies, for example, in every commune or communal circuit in which the neighbors have come together to discuss the different issues, the main issues that affect each community, and they are deciding, okay, with this funding, what are we going to do? So they are bringing to the table through a process of assemblies different communal projects, and today all the neighbors from these communes and communal circuits, you can see them right behind me, they are coming to vote and they are actually voting on those projects. So we are here in particular in the Giant of the Homeland building that is part of the communal circuit number 2 in Caracas. We are right in front of the Fine Arts Museum and the Fine Arts Square, a very important place of Caracas Center. And in this circuit, we were just talking to some of the leaders. And for example, one of the main projects that will be voted on is the continuation of a project of recovery for the buildings and communal spaces in this community. So the leaders were the neighbors were just telling us that this communal circuit in particular, for example, is of course in downtown Caracas, so it's mainly composed of different buildings, large buildings that are in some cases decades old, and so they need a lot of maintenance, and that maintenance, because it's not just simple housing, it's expensive. So they are deciding to allocate these resources to the recovery of these spaces. That is one of the things that they're voting on today. And also, just so you know, this is not a project that is beginning right now, but actually this is the third public consultation since 2024, and this particular communal circuit already voted on a similar project, and already 9 buildings have been recovered with the infrastructure repairments in the last consultations, with the execution of the last budget. So what they are voting on right now is the possibility to continue that project, because of course there are still a lot of things to get done. So they are very just eager to see if this funding will be allocated to that. And also that is just one of the projects. There are also some projects to recover a square that is just here a few blocks away. Also, some of the neighbors were proposing the budget go to external lighting. So as you can see, these are different projects that the community is voting on. They have proposed them themselves, just thinking about what is their priority. And today, those same neighbors from this communal circuit are deciding which projects will be a priority for the coming months. And of course, the goal is that all these projects will be targeted in due time.
You've been there since very early. I know you had a chance to talk with people. What is the feeling of the people? Do they feel like their voice has an impact on the projects that they are voting for?
Exactly. So not only we've been here from very early, but we've been also just going through different territories and communes throughout the week. We've been seeing the footage in the different from the south emissions, and really there's one common experience both in communes, in communal circuits, both in Caracas and also in rural areas, and that is that the neighbors feel heard, because this is just a practice that is very unusual in different countries, the possibility that they can go and vote directly on the projects that they have decided. So one of the phrases that they have been repeating, of course, is that no one really knows better than them what the problems are, what things need to be targeted, and what is the best solutions also to bring to the table. And that is what this tool is trying to achieve. The idea that, of course, this is coordinated through state entities. It is an initiative of the national government, but the initiative is focusing on the idea that it's the neighbors from these communal circuits in particular that know what they need, and this is the way of allocating the funding in an efficient way. Also, they have been telling us repeatedly, and particularly in this case, I was just telling you about the
It seems we have a communication issue. We lost contact with our correspondent, Belén dos Santos, but we're going to stay tuned with Belén in upcoming news brief, as she's going to continue updating all the information coming from Venezuela as a whole in this important day for the people of Venezuela. For now, let's put an end to this news brief. We have come to the end. Remember, you can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. You can also join us on social media, Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For TeleSUR English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thank you for watching.